Welcome back, everybody, to our Moneyball series. Yes, our projected budgets look an absolute disgrace. I think it's the term really to use. Not happy with that. Obviously, the bank balance isn't factoring in the fact that we're going to win the Champions League this year and that we're going to get hundreds of £1 million into the club over the next few years as multiple Champions League winners. No, probably not, but it is going to be better than what they're projecting. So I'm anticipating the transfer budget goes up from that, but yeah, the bank balance isn't that high, I suppose, and we've had a few transfers that have been done over 48 months, but not too many, though, really. I feel like it should be a bit higher. I don't know where the money's going in this club. We might have to do a full financial investigation at some point in this series, the first one ever on the channel, to see what's been going on here. But what has been great, though, have been the results off camera. As you can see, lots of wins for us. The last game was a draw against Auxerre at home, and that was not a good result, but apart from that, it's been pretty good off camera. The league table's looking really good for us in terms of the top 4 race. We're in a good position now. We've stabilised, I would say, is what we've managed to do. We've still been a little bit inconsistent. We're probably taking a bit of a step backwards, I think, overall. But at the very least, we stabilised. After that start, I was really worried after those first 3 games. The PSG defeat in the cup final, the draw to Monaco, then the loss to Rennes there. I was pretty concerned, but we've turned it around now, I think. And I think we're going to be okay, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, today's episode, we have got a Champions League game against Napoli, who beat PSG in the final of the Champions League last year. Thank you very much, Napoli. We've then got, I would say Ajaccio, but I know that's not right, but I'm sure the comments are going to tell me what a disgrace that is, that pronunciation. We've got Ajaccio I'm going to go with, and then we've got PSG in the Paris derby to round off today's episode. So 3 matches in this one, and it's the sort of last one probably before the January transfer, I would have thought. It's because I need to sort of bring you the Paris derby in case we get a win, in case we get a big win in the Paris derby. You've got to see it in case we get there, and you can see it on camera with me. That's really a cup final for us. We want to make sure we win that. Give the bragging rights to the fans of Paris FC, but that's going to be our sort of plan anyway. We've still got no money to spend. There's a few bits of interest in some players. I mean, what's Ndai worth these days? Not that much, really. I mean, Preeka's the big one. Like, if Preeka was to be sold for, like, £40 million, that would really revolutionise our squad going into the January transfer window. We do get 100% of it back in transfer money, so whatever we can get for him after the kickbacks to both him and his team, that's what we'll get. I just realised Quinton Merlin's got 11 assists already this season. That is seriously impressive. I'm pretty sure Da Costa got 14 last season, right? I'm pretty sure that Da Costa got 14 assists last season. He was our higher assist maker in the history of the club. And Merlin's already got 11. I only just noticed that. And Merlin's, I was going to mention him anyway. I planned in my head anyway to mention him in today's episode because I originally thought he'd be a CDM for us. But because of the other players in the squad that we could get, he's ended up being just our starting wingback. And he's been brilliant. He's been absolutely outstanding. Potentially a future captain, I don't know. I hope whatever tactic I go to, of all the recreations I've got planned, I hope it works out where he can actually have a role in the team long term, because I think he could be a future captain for us. He looks like a complete legend. And yeah, best 3.4 million we've spent so far, I think. I mean, how much did Preeka cost us? Okay, it's one of the best 3.4 millions we've ever spent at the football club. The team is pretty much fully fit. So what you can see now is the current first team, actually, apart from that. Felreyes had to go back into the team to sort of stabilise our abilities to win matches. In fact, and I put the win percentage in here. I mean, forgetting the top 2 because they're backups, and so is really Leopold. But Felreyes got the highest win percentage of any starting player who's played multiple games for us, like 6 starts. Most of those have been quite recent, and he's pretty high on his win ratio. It doesn't surprise me there. Who's got the worst, actually, of the starters? And Jensen's got the worst of all the starting level players, and he's the one that you replace. So there you go, direct swap, win percentage, win percentage. And if I just put them next to each other and put the centre-back view in... Okay, this is a really interesting experiment here. So, Felreyes replaced Jensen in the squad drive. If you look at the actual stats here, tackle ratio goes to Jensen, tackles per 90 goes to Jensen, blocks per 90 goes to Jensen. A lot of the stats go to Jensen. The ones that don't are sprints per 90 goes to Felreyes, and dribbles per 90 goes slightly to Felreyes, and the header 1 ratio goes massively towards Felreyes, but the biggest stat that goes towards Felreyes is team conceded per 90. So when Felreyes is on the pitch for us, per 90 minutes, we concede 1.12. When it's Jensen, it's 1.51. And yeah, I don't know, like, Jensen kept getting poor match ratings. In matches, I'd watch them create their attacks. They go straight through his side, where he get beaten in the air, and they were scoring goals from him. That's why he was the one that was dropped, specifically. And it's worked for us. And it's quite interesting, though, how a lot of the intangible stats there actually do go to his direction slightly. But Felreyes, the bottom line, he wins more matches and he wins more of his headers and we concede less when he's on the pitch. So the three most important ones, he's blowing them out the water, but the rest of them is quite interesting, that, isn't it? Maybe it shows how important it is to have your centre-back not be really poor in the air, because 75 is quite low. I think before we looked at it, we were looking at 81 being the minimum. That's what Ferrarese has. So anybody that drops below that, it shows that they can have really good stats in the other areas, but if they're poor in the air in the centre-back position in this specific tactical formation, it's a huge issue for us. So just something quite interesting that I thought I'd bring to you going into the set of matches here. Another quite funny thing is the fact that Badashile has already scored 4. In fact, the centre-backs have scored a lot. We've scored a lot from set pieces this year. They've sort of outdone the strikers, really. Preaker and Boniface, I do rate and I do trust, and I don't really trust many players outside of that. Da Costa this year has traded his assists for goals. He's got 6 goals and 1 assist, and Merlin's got 11 assists. It's quite impressive. I think we probably got 12 to 13 players that I trust, and everybody after that is just cross your fingers. Like, I trust that current starting 11. I trust Garrow. That makes 12. And that probably is it. I mean, Osei Samuel's played really poorly so far. Do you know what? I'd say 12. We've got 12 players that, if any of those 12 are playing, I'm happy. Once we start having multiple injuries and multiple players tired, that's when we start to drop points, because they're players that I simply don't trust in their performances on the pitch, for us anyway. So the first game against Napoli, Boniface is actually slightly tired. He's got an injury, hasn't he? So let's put Kaufman in for a start. A slightly more rare one for him. And let's see how that team gets on then. So your first team for the Champions League game is going to be Christensen in goal, with Christensen, Badashile, and Ferrarese across the back. Merlin, Larson wing backs. Samuel and Dai pivots. Da Costa is the 10. Kaufman and Preacher up front. And that is going to be your team. And let's see how we get on. In terms of the group stage so far, we're currently in the top sort of area. Obviously, top 8 goes straight through to round of 16. So that'll be the ideal scenario. I'm going to play the first team in this game because we've got a nice gap between the games there. And we do, again, to be fair, with Chelsea and Lille. I would say maybe what we're looking at here. To be fair, most of the games go Tuesday, Sunday. To be fair, there's a decent gap between the games. Now I look at that. I was thinking I might have to play the backups, but there's a pretty decent gap between all those games looking through that. So that's good news. Here we go then. Assistant manager says, nothing to lose. Okay. They are playing a 4-3-3 single pivot formation against us. That looks like a beatable team. I cannot believe that team won the Champions League, to be honest with you. That is incredible. Well, it's games like these where I'm happy I do 3 episodes or 3 games in an episode now, because there was no highlights at all in the first half. Not a single one. Not even one that I've cut out. Nothing. We'll say carry on with favourite squad that make it happen. Here's the highlight. Napoli on the left-hand side. They're going to cut inside here, dribble towards our back line. Ferrarese made a mistake. They get through. They nearly score. It's probably the end of it, though, you'd expect. No, they go through. Oh, Christ. Just made a load of changes right the way through the team there. We've got Osei Samuel, Leopold, Aziz, all on the pitch. As we give the ball away again in a dangerous area, they're going to break through on us, so they're going to get a goal. They play it through. Surely got to finish that. Christensen with a good save. On a 7.4 is Christensen, which is good to see after his really poor start to his career, really, here at Paris FC. Corner's whipped in. It's going to be surely headed away because we're pretty good on defending set pieces from what we saw last year anyway. And they're going to continue through, and they're going to head this surely over the bar there. Oh no, he's gone. I think he's been beaten in the air, actually. Raspadori. Surely offside referee. What is that? That is a calamitous clearance. Free kick from 100 yards out. This isn't going in. No chance. Next highlight, please. Yeah, no danger. Well, this one might, though. 1-0. And there are no more highlights. It finishes 1-0 to Napoli. We'll say we're proud of the lads. Just want to keep morale up, really. It's not a huge deal. We know we need to finish in the top, whatever it is again. It's 24, is it? Top 24? Yeah, top 24 is what we're aiming for. As long as we get in that top 24, I don't mind. So move on to the next one, then we'll play against Ajaccio away from home. I mean, if we were to drop points here, then lose to PSG again, we'd be in a bit of trouble for top 4, because that would definitely knock us out a bit, at least at this moment in time. Rennes were doing really, really well, to be fair. They only must have lost recently, and that was only to Monaco, who are 5th. So it's going to be a close race to that top 4 if things keep going as they currently are. I'll see you in a few days for the game against Ajaccio. Here we go then. First team is completely back, including Boniface this time. Now, I bet you win this game, because whenever the first 11 is completely free to play, whether it's due to fitness or suspensions, we always win. So let's see how we get on. Calm Paris FC. A good bit of momentum going into the Paris derbies. We need to win one of those, and soon. Assistant manager says, we're on a good run, got that impressed me, okay. Merlin with his 11 assists is going to start it off. He whacks it in. I'm not sure what that was. Like a Roberto Carlos, wasn't it? One of those outside of the foot. Whack it towards goal. Maybe he's got some magic in his locker, or Merlin. And Ferrarese plays the Boniface, and it's been taken off now, hasn't it? This is a disaster. Won it back and die. Christensen, Samuel, Boniface, Merlin. But good build-up play. What's he got? Going to slide that in there, Merlin? He's going to cross this. He's going to cross this. way too far out. That was a really poor decision, to be fair. Should have just held on to it, reworked the attack. Didn't need to whack that ball into the box there. They're going to counter on us. They're going to get a chance. Are they going to score? Wow. Rufus Smalls up front for Ajaccio, apparently. Highlight again here. They've lost it early on. We get it back twice. Boniface takes a few poor touches, keeps... Oh, giving it away, gets it back. Good, okay. See, we're a bit messy, aren't we, this year? We're a little bit messy on the ball, not Lionel Messi. We are just really, really poor on the ball. That's going to be probably offside, I think. Yeah, he's offside. Highlight here, Ajaccio take their throw in. They're going to build their way across the back, you would expect here. Oh, it's a risky switch. That is a risky switch. We should really get to this. Ah, lads, come on. If a team does that, like a big aerial switch with that much float on the ball, you've got to be winning that. Preaker, a bit too aggressive with the pass. I am looking forward to changing the tactic to see how this team plays in a different system. I didn't want to change it, like I said, too early on because I wanted to just let the team stabilise first before we start making big changes. Go across God Boniface, but you can see how erratic it is. And it works well for us, though, in some games, right? It works really, really well for us in some games. Just some games when it's not working for you. What a goal that is, Da Costa. I just missed that like offset 10 sort of going through. Like, if I'm being honest, of all the tactics that I'm looking at right now, the one that I'm edging towards the most is the one that plays the best football. And that sounds quite logical. You think, oh, that's quite a logical thing to want to see. But it might take us an extra, 3, 4, 5 seasons to topple PSG playing in a way that may cost you in games because it's too possession-based, a little passive in possession, which can look really beautiful, especially in the match engine at times, but you're going to take a hit on the odd result, and the odd result against PSG equals finishing second place because they don't drop points that often. They do lose games, though, in the Champions League final. Ferreira plays into Larson. Larson across to Da Costa. It is blocked. Gets it back to Costa again. Oh, and it's a goalkeeping error, and it is 2-0 to Paris FC. I mean, it's a good strike on goal, don't get me wrong, but the goalkeeper's, I don't know what he's doing really here. He's done a bit of a Christensen here. He's fallen back to Da Costa again. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing there. He's gone for one of those, trying to push it over the bar. I mean, an absolute error. And that is 2-0. Corner, Merlin, far post, 3-0. Game over. Okay, just made a load of changes really to take the first team players out to make sure they're fresh for the Paris derby. If Ajaccio get a goal in, it could be a bit interesting because they would have made it 3-1 and I would have taken off almost all my best players, the ones that are most tired, but they don't score. Well, the highlight's going to continue here. This could be anything here. Christensen's going to roll this, is he? He's got options to. It goes long. It goes long against his instructions. What are you doing, Christensen? They've switched it. They've got a 2v1 temporarily here. They slide the ball inside. He's clearly open, this guy. They've gotten through, knife through butter, and they miss it. Another late highlight here. Ajaccio are going to travel inside with the ball. They switch it across. And we're looking at pretty good structure there. We're going to win this. We are not. So we're going to bring the second one down, though. And Christian's going to play out from the back nice and calmly, hopefully. Badiashile into Samuel. Samuel has options. Nice little slide, progressive pass in there. Boniface Parika might be offside. He's probably going to finish it and then get called back for offside is what I expect to happen here. He could be onside. I think he's just off, though. Yeah, he's just off. Osei Samuel, right inside, slides it straight into Boniface. Now Parika. I love that link-up play between the front three, though, you see. Going to miss that a little bit. But I'll look at the football. It's brilliant. Parika scores. I think he's onside this time. It could be 5. What a game to go into the Paris derby with. We could have done much better in this game, I don't think, and it is onside. And there you have it. It's going to be 4-0 to Paris FC. What a win for the boys. We'll say good win, boys. Well done. We did everything we could in that game to put us in the best possible position with a 4-0 victory going into the game against PSG. So I'll see you in a few days for the PSG game. Can we get our first win? I thought about changing the tactic for this game. I'm not going to do it. If we don't win this time, right, if we don't draw, I'm 100% at the very, very least going to change my tactic for PSG when we play them next, whether it's in the Cup, Champions League, whatever it is. So this is the last time we're going to play this 3 at the back tactic. If we get beaten soundly again, we're going to change it, at the very least just for them. But let's see what happens. Come on, Paris FC. Paris FC, here we go then. Paris derby is upon us. It is going to be a really interesting game. Are we still going to be a full step off of Paris Saint-Germain? That is going to be the question. We're going to find out the answer to that in a few minutes' time here. Right, the first team is completely free to play, except for Ndai, who is now out suspended. So, Garro's going to start as a pivot player for us in this game. Apart from that, it's exactly the same team as we just saw. It's a big game. Come on, Paris FC, we've got to do this. Come on, boys. Don't forget, they could go 2 seasons undefeated here, because they've still not lost this year either. And, yeah, I mean, Lloyd Kelly looks a little bit out of place in that team, but apart from that, looks, well, I mean, I don't know, it could be a better team, to be fair, at this stage of FM. But we'll see. If this manager says, pick up where he left off, okay, that's a pretty... I think the assistant manager's gone down the road of like just playing down the fixture, like just pick up your left off, lads. No worries, no danger. It's not the Paris derby, it's not PSG. Don't worry about it. Right, that is us. That is the Paris FC team. That is the potential winning team there for us. Who are they going to play? And what formation are they going to play? We saw the team, didn't we? What formation is going to be? 4-2-3-1. Yeah. I mean, it's well balanced, actually. I like the fact they've got Soler one side with an overlapping fullback, and then they've got like a more defensive fullback in Kelly with Mbappe that side. That could be a slight problem for us. In terms of, like, foot manager, I think having Mbappe on the left and Neymar up front is better for us in this game. I think that should be a good thing for us, but let's see what happens. Early highlight, PSG have it first. They're going to play out from the back, and they're going to play out to their left back. They get it to Mbappe. Mbappe takes a touch, plays it back to Kimpembe, back into Mbappe. They nearly lost it. They nearly lost it from the press and trap we've set. Oh, they get it to Lloyd Kelly, who's got options. Whacks it to Mbappe, plays it across goal. Does he hear? That is not. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare, referee. What is your name? What is your name, referee? Benoit. Don't you dare. Don't you dare give this. Benoit. I'm telling you. I don't fucking believe it. Can you believe that? Absolutely. Do you know what? Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. We're going to watch this in slow motion together. And now let's slow it right down here. And let's get a better view of this. Let's go behind the goal. Right. Let's zoom right in. Ready for this? Let's see if this is a penalty. What do you think, viewers? What does the comment section think of this as a penalty? Mbappe's going to take his touch and dive in a second here. I'm going to remain neutral for this, of course. I mean, where's the penalty then? Where is it? Where is it? He's already going down. What? What? Absolutely sickening. Name of the penalty. And he's missed it. Come on, Christensen. Bit of redemption there. And justice for Paris FC. The cheating PSG have not managed to get another dodgy decision going their way. When they got the decision, but they didn't get the goal from it. Thank Christ for that. Well, thank Christensen for that. Boniface goes up. Da Costa, it's given away. Neymar was onside, and he's through 1v1. And, well, between them, they get rid of it. Okay, here it is. Here is the first recreation we're going to see on the series. This is Jose Mourinho's 2009-2010 Champions League winning tactical recreation. Again, like with all recreations, there's more than one way to do them. There's never just a right answer, wrong answer. I think there's a couple of things you can look at. Is one, how closely does it look in the match engine to the real thing? That's what I like to look at. Some people like the roles to match up properly. Jose Mourinho did a really good coach's voice piece where he talked about how they played against specifically Barcelona, and that's what this one is mainly based on, that sort of like system where they had it like in a 4-2-3-1. There are many games they played like a 4-3-1-2 kind of shape as well, which is what this turns into, right? That was the whole point of this, is how it defends one sort of formation and attacks in another. So think of this how we defend like a 4-2-3-1, right? We've got our two wingers, we've got a back four, we've got midfield four really, with a high wing on the right and a winger on the slightly lower on the left with a 10 and then a striker. So it defends like a 4-2-3-1. The Pandev role is responsible for going and defending as narrow as possible to almost make it like a three-man midfield at times. And when we attack, the whole idea of us attacking is we want to get the right striker, in this case it's Boniface, as close to Perica as possible. So it ends up becoming like a 4-3-1-2. So it defends like this. Obviously, it's not going to be completely exact because of the way that the game mechanics work, but Boniface, we've got on sit now roam from position so he can go and get as narrow to Perica as possible. The attacking width is obviously narrow to try and get him as narrow and close to the striker as possible. So he's responsible completely for marking the fullback out of possession. That's his job, to mark the fullback. But as soon as we go in possession, how close and how quickly can you get yourself next to the striker and make it a two-man strike force? Milito and Etu, that sort of thing, right? Then we've got a sort of Maicon role, which is the marauding, really aggressive wing-back, with then obviously the more defensive pivot's going to play on this side for us here. The Pandev role is the hardest one to recreate. What I've got is defensive winger, get further forward, run from position, and with a narrow width, he should stay quite narrow. And this is more like a tactical recreation blueprint where you could tweak a few things to suit it maybe to your team. Like, for example, if you had a really aggressive attacking left wing back and a really defensive right back in your squad, you know, there's no point in doing it this round to just shoehorn it in to be exactly the same. You may as well mirror it and have it the opposite way around, right? And have maybe everything else inverted. So, but this is the way that we've got it, and it does suit our squad because Merlin is more of a defensive fullback, and Osei Samuel can be more of an aggressive wingback for us. So it suits us pretty well, it being this way around. I may switch Boniface and Perica. I know Perica's left-footed. In fact, let's do that. Let's see how that goes. That'd be interesting. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put the coach's voice video from Mourinho in the description. If you want to go watch that after the video and see what this recreation is based on. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to go to this full time. I just want to try this right now in this one-off game against PSG and maybe against PSG going forwards, right? You know, Mourinho did it in a very famous game where they beat Barcelona 3-1 in Milan, and that was like a huge, like one of the best teams considered of all time in Pep's Barca at the time, against Jose's underdog Inter team, who were brilliant defensively and able to come out with the win not only on the day but across the two legs as well. So when you're playing a massively superior opponent and they're going to keep the ball more than you, we're going to recreate and play the shithousery Mourinho system in this game, and hopefully it works. So that's the idea of it. I've gone into a bit of detail about the tactic. I could go into loads more detail and explain to you what Inter did that year, because I did a lot of like analysis and I did a lot of tweaking to this tactic. But let's just see how it plays. There's no guarantee it's going to work in a one-off game when the game's already started. We're 20 minutes into the game already, right? So before we change to this tactic, the stats are currently like this. 0 shots for us, 4 for PSG, an XG of 1.56 for PSG and 0 for us. And they've had 53% possession so far. Luckily, Neymar's on a 6.0. Let's see if we can stop their domination here. Now, they have got Mbappe cutting inside, so maybe on the left going into our right. Okay, one change I'm going to make here. I'm actually going to make Samuel a ball-winning midfielder defend. And the reason is, as soon as Mbappe starts cutting inside from the left here into this sort of area, I want him to step out and just nail him every time. And if he gets the yellow card, he gets the yellow card. And let's see if that makes it slightly better for dealing with that issue. I've put up to extended highlights as well to see if we can see the tactic in action. See that sort of late move inside from our right winger. See if that can work. Gary with a free kick anyway. Goes far post. Kimpembe. Oh, that was nearly a goal. And Kimpembe's blocked it at the last second. Highlight here. They go short for the throw-in. Preeka wins it. Say Samuel gets it here. Preeka got to release it. Samuel now gets it to Garro. Garro's giving it away. They slide into Neymar. He's through. And somehow he survived that. Highlight's going to continue though. Preeka's going to get there as well. Referee! Is it going to be a penalty? It's not going to be a penalty. One, because it's against PSG, but two, it is also outside the area, I think. So we'll let him off on that. Free kick here. Garro has it. He's going to play it towards the back post, headed towards Gono's headed away. Late highlight before half time here. Merlin to Da Costa. Da Costa takes a few touches, gives it away. They're going to break on us, are they now? Need to get early pressure on him. Don't let him run at you. They can see their attack. We win it back. Preeka. Osei Samuel. Into Samuel. To Christensen. Plays it across to Badiashile. Got plenty of time and space. Plays it across to Christensen. Preeka, can you get a bit narrow, please, mate? Oh, what are we doing? Why are we selling the ball for so long as well? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Halftime 0-0. Let's say revenge. They're going to play on the back. Our PSG. We're going to get pressure. We nearly won that, actually. And again. And they're going to continue now. They're going to still continue with the ball. They can have it there. Have it there all day. Now Mbappe gets it. Can he run into our cul-de-sac? That's what we're trying to set up for him. He's just got multiple players in the way if he goes in. Hakimi plays it to Soler. They build up their attack again. They go through to Hakimi. He's through. What are we doing defensively? Oh, it's so fucking poor. Who was that? What useless sack of shit was that? Is it Badiashile? Who is it? Yeah. 1-0. Corner of PSG. Far post headed away. They've got plenty of time and space on the ball. Goes back to Hakimi again. Wow. Made a couple of changes. We've got Kaufman up front. We also put Leopold in the CDM role so I can get Garro in as the 10. Highlight here. Badiashile gets it. Plays it into Samuel. Tries to slide it to Costa. Gives it away. I feel like we're holding on to the ball a bit too long. Like we're a bit too almost possession-based, really weirdly. Just going 4-2-4, just trying to get back into the game. It's a pretty precarious situation now, though. They're probably going to catch us on the break, aren't they? With their attacking players with pace in particular. Here they go. Going behind, Hakimi's onside. He's so dangerous, isn't he? Hakimi scores a second, devastating 2-0. And there you have it. It's going to be a 2-0 defeat at home. Disappointing. I'm so annoyed. So at the end of the episode, we finish ourselves 4th place. The title's gone, obviously. We weren't really ever in play for that. PSG are still on course for a second undefeated season in a row, potentially. And yeah, just a bit deflating that result, to be honest. I thought we'd have a better chance after we switched the tactic, but it didn't really turn out that way, unfortunately, for us. And yeah, going into January, like, it's like nobody's really is invaluable to us. I think everybody's got a prize for us in our Moneyball stats. There's nobody that's doing something above and beyond. Preeka's getting a pretty good goal return, but his valuation's at like nearly £40 million. Like he is definitely worth selling at £40 million. So yeah, there could be some surprises going into the next one. when it comes to the January transfers, that kind of stuff, right? But we'd probably have to sell somebody quite big, like in terms of valuation, for us to be looking to really change over the squad a little bit in the January transfer window. But like, if I was to keep this squad together, we'd probably finish top 4. We maybe Challenger Cup. So I mean, that would be okay for this season. That'd be fine. But like, I don't want to risk Preaker going off the board towards the end of the season, his valuation dropping when I could sell him for like 40, 50 million in January. So we'll see what happens with that. So in terms of the next episode then, let's come back for... Oh, we said that before, didn't we? It's going to be this one here. It's going to be Barcelona, Strasbourg, and Nice. We'll play the last Champions League game. We'll play against Strasbourg and Nice, and we will see what we do in the giant transfer window going up to that point. So we'll come back during the actual transfer window, though. So you'll come and join me like before the Monaco game. But you won't see any matches. We'll go through loads of the transfers, do a lot of the scouting, go through the recruitment process, that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll start using FM Stag stats for the first time because it's the top 5 divisions across Europe, and use some of those stats to buy players this time around. Maybe we start doing something to that effect. But in any case, whatever we do, you'll come back and join me for the whole transfer window in January. We'll go through all of that. We'll play against Barcelona, play Strasbourg and Nice, and see where things are set up going into the rest of the season. That is going to do the episode. Yet again, we haven't managed to beat PSG. We haven't even managed to get a draw against PSG. And it is going to be all the sweeter when we finally do them at some point, but that hasn't happened so far. All I can say is a massive thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.